What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global back here with another video. And in this one, guys, we are going to be talking about, with some breaking news, the New England Patriots interested in recently released tackle La'el Collins from the Bengals. Now, we all know La'el Collins very well because not too long ago, not even a year ago yet, the New England Patriots had interest in La'el Collins before he signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the reason the Cincinnati Bengals are releasing him right now is with an injury designation. We will get into it in the video in just a second here. But before we do that, make sure you guys do leave a big like on this video. I've said it before, guys. I'll say it again. It really helps out the channel. Let's see if we can get at least 300 likes on this video. We got the best fans. We got the best community. We have the best platform here on YouTube, guys. Let's show everybody else. Let's show the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bills. Let's show all the haters who think that we're in the basement, even community-wise, that is not the case, and leave a big like on this video. Helps push the video out into the YouTube algorithm and community. But without further ado, let's roll that Patriots Global intro and talk about today's topic. And let me know in the comment section below why you guys are at it. Do you guys like the new setup that we're still working on a little bit, still trying to figure some things out? But do we like the general new setup here, or do we prefer the setup from before? You guys let me know in the comment section below. But let's roll the intro. Collins, 30 years old right now, coming off of a season-ending injury that he faced not even a year ago yet, right? So that's my big thing. First off and foremost, we have to talk about the Patriots' level of interest, because I think that's some things that Patriots fans are getting a little bit confused is, Patriots need to sign him right now. Patriots need to be all over this. What's Belichick doing? He should be in the building as we speak. You're not understanding that he's also injured still. Back in the Patriots, week 16 game against the Cincinnati Bengals back in December, Christmas Eve, in a game they should have won, but they lose to the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals, one of the Bengals, at least, offensive lineman goes down. That was La'el Collins. I believe it was a torn ACL or something of those sorts that kept him out for the rest of the season and is still keeping him out. That is the reason that he's not currently signed up until this point, right? If a healthy La'el Collins gets released by the Bengals, teams would be all over it. Also, a healthy La'el Collins would not be released if he was not injured and could not play. That's why he was released with an injury designation by the Bengals. I really don't think there's going to be a lot of interest league-wide for Collins because, again, he's injured. And there is definitely a surplus in terms of a need for offensive linemen, especially tackles in the NFL, especially while the season goes on, because that trade market is starting to shrink. Let's remember, in a couple of weeks, that trade market is going to be completely done for the entire season until March as we get down to the trade deadline. So with that being said, there will be some teams that are interested in Collins, but due to the fact that there's question marks on when is he going to be able to play, I think that the Patriots really, for the most part, are going to be able to take their time with La'el Collins to be able to bring him in. From what was reported right now, their level of interest is due diligence, right? It's not a heavy dose of interest on New England's side. They're not bringing him in for a workout. They're not, in contact with his agent. They're monitoring the situation. They have a level of interest, and they're going to see how things go, right? Okay, let's not forget the fact that, yes, the Patriots are dealing with offensive line issues. We just got the injury report. Trent Brown already has a concussion against the Eagles, which I tweeted this out. Yeah, I thought Trent Brown was going to get injured at some point, but I did not think that Trent Brown was going to get injured by week 2 of the NFL. But not only is he injured, but you also have So, the rookie who has experience at tackle. He's also out with a concussion, just like Trent Brown is. So the depth of tackle is shrinking a little bit, but Brown, those guys will be back by week 3 at the latest. So I'm not too worried about that. At the roster cutdown date, you obviously traded for Vidarian Lowe, a 6th-round pick, and then you obviously picked up Tyrone Wheatley Jr. in a trade that sent him to New England, and Pierre Strong, who you wasted a 4th-round pick on, to the Cleveland Browns. So you picked up 2 left tackles. at that point, let's see what those guys have before we're too focused on bringing out outside noises. And I think that's what the Patriots are going to do right now, just doing their due diligence on him in case guys like Tyrone Wheatley or guys like Vidarian Lowe ultimately do not work out for them, because at least one of those guys is going to get the nod in this upcoming game against the. And quite honestly, I really think that the only way the Patriots do end up signing La'el Collins is that he's able to play sooner rather than later. He's in good shape. The contract is not going to be massive for him, which has to mean that the interest league-wide is not going to be heavy for him. But most importantly, the Patriots' offensive line is going to have concerns. It's going to have to be stagnant. They're going to have injury concerns along the offensive line, whether that's, Trent Brown, whether that's City So, no matter who these tackles are going to be, but also that would mean that your backup guys have to play bad. Tyrone Wheatley has to play bad. Vidarian Lowe has to play bad. And with how the Patriots played week one along the entirety of their offensive line, I think that they're going to be okay. The question mark is going to be about the two tackles they just brought in. Are those guys going to be serviceable backups when they're needed to? And if they can, I just don't see La'el Collins, ultimately becoming a Patriot. But in case he does, let's talk about him. So, La'el Collins, he's 30 years old. He originally entered the NFL in 2015 with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, throughout the majority of his tenure, he really made what that Dallas Cowboys offensive line for so many years was one of the best in the National Football Leagues. He was a big part of that. He's really been one of the best offensive tackles in football. Now, he's taken a step back the couple years, and I think that's been the biggest concern. But for the most part, when he's on the field and able to stay healthy, he's at least a very serviceable starting caliber tackle. Now, he joined the Bengals in 2022, like we mentioned. This was something that the Patriots had a lot of interest in. At the end of the day, they just were not willing to give him the contract that the Bengals ultimately were, but a very versatile tackle throughout his NFL career. So he fits the versatility mold of what the Patriots want. You bring in an offensive tackle, seems like as of late, Bill Belichick is willing to sign those guys that can play in a majority of different roles. Left tackle, right tackle. We saw it with Vidarian Lowe, a guy who can play left and right. And we saw it with Tyrone Wheatley, a guy who was able to play on the left side and the right side. So Collins would fit really all of that. Not to mention that his first year in Dallas, he actually started at left guard. So he wouldn't even give the Patriots both starting tackle abilities, but would also give the Patriots ability over at left guard, which is also a concern. And so, guys, real quick, have to stop the video to talk about a major opportunity, not just for this channel, but also for you guys as we introduce a new sponsor to the channel with my friends over at Mojo, guys. And I'm so excited to talk about Mojo because Mojo is doing something that you never see. It is a different type of sports book that you can have fun with. I'm absolutely in love with the Mojo Fantasy app. It's crazy. Like I said, it's an actual app. So you can play this on your phone. And that's the best part about them, is that because it's an app and you don't got to worry about going online and worrying about hackers and typing it into Safari or Google or Chrome, whatever you have, it's a safe and secure app that you can count on the fact that Mojo is going to use the information you give them very securely and very safely. But it turns basically a sports book and selections into new fantasy contests, and hear how it works, okay? There's thousands of NFL and MLB props and even more, and you guys basically build your own portfolio. And the better that your portfolio performs based off of the selections that you make, you guys will get more cash. Pick as many props as you guys want and try to beat the crowd. That's the best thing about Mojo too, is the fact that you guys are going to play against real people. You don't have to worry about playing against bots. And that's the thing, right? When you play other sports books or you play anything that tries to get you money, a lot of times you're going up against the computer, which I don't know about you guys, but that makes me feel a little defeated. It makes me feel like, well, if I'm going up against the computer, it's going to give me the worst odds. It's going to give me, not the opportunity to win. But as long as you guys know what you're doing, you can easily beat out these other people that you are beating in real time. In fact, guys, I actually went and I placed my own bets via the Mojo Fantasy app. So this is for Thursday Night Football, and you guys can actually go ahead and place these exact bets with me if you want, or go ahead and place some different bets if you want. These are just my favorites that I have. So I put 100 mojo dollars down on TJ Hawkinson, anytime touchdown, Philly against Minnesota. We saw that Philly was having some struggles against tight ends with the Patriots, not to mention their weakest point in their secondary and their defense is their safeties, which means that I absolutely think TJ Hawkinson has the ability to go out and eat. I have Jalen Hurts over 22.5 passing completions. I think that this is going to be a pass heavy game for both of them. Jalen Hurts is a pass first quarterback. He threw for over 22 completions against the Patriots. So I see that exact same thing happening here as he goes up against a defense that's not as good as the Patriots are. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown, they're going to absolutely find ways to continue to get him implemented. I think he has a big game, and I think if the Vikings are going to win this game, they have to get Justin Jefferson in the end zone, and I think he does it. I think that's how they bounce back. And then Alexander Mattison, I have over 3.5 receptions. This is absolutely money, and I believe that so much that I put 200 mojo dollars down, guys. And by the way, when you download the app, you'll see that mojo dollars isn't like real dollars. I didn't put $200 down on this. But I put 200 mojo dollars down on Madison over 3.5 receptions. Guys, another easy money take right here. The Philadelphia Eagles could not stop the New England Patriots running backs last week in terms of the receiving game, receptions, whether that was them, lined up wide or lined up in the slot or lined up as an H-back, lined up in the shotgun. There were a multitude of different ways the Patriots got these running backs involved, and because of the deficiencies that the Eagles have with their linebackers and their safeties, the Patriots were able to get Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke Elliott with over 7 receptions. So Alexander Mattison just getting over 3.5, that is absolutely. But guys, this is an absolute whole new way for you guys to go ahead and play some fantasy football. The props act like stocks, so you guys can buy and sell live. Yes, you guys can do this live during the games all game long. It's the only fantasy app that you guys are going to find that lets you make moves after the game starts so that you guys are not going to be stuck with a bad pick. Like if I have one of these picks that the game starts and I'm like, ooh, this is not going as well as I thought. Let me get out of that so I don't lose money. I'm able to do that and only with the Mojo Fantasy app. And you guys can cash in on a hot start. So if you guys start hot and you say, I'm scared that this is going to flop out, you guys can cash out right away in order to make some hot, quick, and easy money. Or you guys can just stick with your picks, hang on, let them ride, and hope for the best. Guys, that is absolutely it. Make picks, make moves, and make money. Right now, download the app on the Apple Store using my code GLOBAL, GLOBAL, for 100% deposit match up to $100 for your first time deposit. Link in my description box for more. Basically, what this means is there's a $10 minimum. So if you deposit $10, that will turn into $20. And you can do that all the way up to $100, and they will basically double that initial deposit. So I did this earlier. I put in my $10 and that became $20 free to bet there with Mojo. You guys can go to the link in my description, pin in the comment section below, or even scan the QR code that is on the screen now. Check out. Now, a little bit here more about Collins before we end today's video off is the fact that in 2017 is really where he found his grouping and his footing with the Dallas Cowboys. And that's when he switched over to right tackle. And that is the season that the Dallas Cowboys saw the fewest sacks allowed in the entire National Football League that season with only 23. And by 2019, he was able to pin in a 5-year, $50 million extension with the Dallas Cowboys. So with that being said, there clearly is some question marks with the Patriots over on the right side versus the left. Who is the Patriots starting right tackle? I could not tell you. Is it Calvin Anderson? Maybe. But is he going to be able to have enough longevity for the entirety of the season? I really do think there's question marks on the right side. So if that's what the Patriots are looking for, is to solidify the right side by signing La'el Collins, then okay, it makes sense. But again, he's not able to play football right now. So this is not an immediate move that helps the Patriots offensive line. So if the Patriots are able to figure out what their offensive line situation is by then like I said, I think they pass on him. But if ultimately that time comes where he's healthy and able to play football again, and the Patriots say, well, it's been the last few weeks of a rotating right side of our offensive line, we need you, then I definitely think that that is where he's able to come in. In 2022, he was able to have permission to be traded. That's what ultimately sent him to the Bengals, and straight away the Bengals signed him to a 3-year, $21 million deal, started 15 games last season, and then tore that ACL and MCL actually in that game against the Patriots, like I had said before. So clearly to them, after signing that 3-year deal, they said, you know what? We're good with what we have, and we didn't like what we saw from you enough to ultimately keep you around after your season-ending injury. Guy who's 30 years old at this point, coming off a season's ACL and MCL injury. Is he going to be able to come back? I think there's serious questions. And the fact that the Bengals passed on him because of it, I think that does say something. But what are your guys' thoughts on La'el Collins and the Patriots' rumored interest in him? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and, of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. As always, guys, I appreciate you for watching, and never forget,